Willkommen in Wetzlar. Welcome to Wetzlar, Germany. We're visiting a town that is a very important place, once an imperial town. It's also a town where Goethe once lived and wrote a very famous novel, where many companies have developed. The Schaefer family lived in the house behind me. We know them because they made beer when they emigrated to the United States. But we're here to visit with the Buderus folks. We're going to be touring a factory that dates back to the 1730s. It's a company that's been a manufacturer of iron products for all these centuries, and they have very, very fabulous technology in terms of modern items such as water heaters. We're going to learn how they make the tanks and the coils that go inside them. So, we got a noisy place here. What's happening at this stage?
Well, what we have is the raw materials or the tubing coming in, as you see here, and here's a bending machine, which is going to form our indirect coil for our indirect water heater.
Oh, look at that. That's very clever.
The concept of the indirect tank technology is such that the indirect coil that is being formed here has boiler water running through it, is then welded into a vessel,
right,
and the domestic water surrounds it and takes heat away from the coil for use in the domestic water application. The benefit is that you're not using a gas-fired flame on the bottom, and your longevity and efficiencies are often much higher.
Yeah, you're shooting two birds with one stone.
Exactly.
Now, is that right? Is that the way it's supposed to be?
The Buderus indirect water tanks have an area for clean out. In this particular case, the clean out space, so you can physically get into the tank, is where they have the void in the coil.
I see. So that's meant to be there.
Right. So many conventional tanks do not have a clean out. But with our tank, we have a clean out so that you can service it very easily.
Okay, now what happens to it next?
Next step is the coil is welded in place in the vessel and the ends are welded on.
Let's take a look. Okay, now this is a totally automated and robotic process back here, isn't it?
That's correct.
These arms just put in the...
What are those? The top and bottom, the bases.
The bases of the tank.
They're positioned.
And now the tank with the guts inside it is rolling into place.
You can see the coil on the end. Two ends are going to meet, and then a special steel or copper-coated steel wire.
So this is an electro welding process.
Exactly.
And you got one wire that's applied on each side.
Actually two wires for each side for speed. This process takes less than a minute per tank.
Yeah.
Careful of your eyes.
And there the arms go and are getting into place and ready for the next tank that rolls around, right?
That's correct. Now after this process, it then goes through an acid bath to clean any residual oils off of it.
The whole thing on the inside and on the outside.
And on the outside. Yeah. It's then a special thermal glaze mixture is added to it.
And that's proprietary,
Proprietary, and it's elliptically rotated to cover every surface area of the coil and the interior of the tank.
And then?
And then it's put into an oven and baked at 1600 degrees. So you'll see them come out cherry red.
All right, so that's a finished one. And
completed unit.
Yeah. And here you're making different sized tanks here, right?
That's correct. Right now this is a 40-gallon tank. And he's removing a thin plastic sheeting that's actually laid down in the template. What he's doing here is buttering the template so that the tank can actually be removed easily. It will not stick.
That's like the liquid polyurethane?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so what we're looking at here is actually a mold.
Exactly. It's a template, a pressure template. So it maintains the jacket in position as the mold expands.
Okay, so here you've got the mold with a sleeve in it.
Correct. The jacket is in the template, and they will drop the tank into the template, close it up, and pressure fill it with the polyurethane foam.
All right. Does that set up right away, or does it need to bake?
It takes a specific period of time, but it's no longer than 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it expands at a tremendous rate, really packing in to get a very dense insulation layer, which is noted in our tanks for low standby losses.
Okay. And then it just basically travels around in a circle.
Correct.
And comes back out at this end, where essentially you've got the tail end of the operation, cleaning it up and packaging it, right?
That's correct. They take it out of the mold, they clean it up, package it, put skids on it, and away it goes.
Terrific.